How's it going, everybody? My name is Nick, and I also go by Golden Guy, and I am your coach of the Philadelphia Pincers. We are back for Season 6 of the UNPL, otherwise known as the Uva Naranja League. Last time we were here, we made a swift exit in Round 1 of the playoffs, thanks to Tone and his bulk up Terra Water Go-Go. This time, we are trying to avenge ourselves and hoping to take the title of champion. But then again, who in the league isn't aiming for that title? Let me tell you, the competition is absolutely fierce this season, just like it always is. Well, I have wasted enough of your time, so let's jump into the draft. We had pick number 11 out of 16. Definitely not an ideal spot to be. We weren't going to get one of the big Ubers that are allowed in the format, and we were too far away from the wheel to really pick with great synergy. That being said, for the first round, I decided to go with a Mon that I had been wanting to use for several drafts now, but it always seemed to escape me or go right before I could get my hands on it. That Mon is Terrapagos. Terrapagos can be used as both a utility Mon and a setup sweeper, maybe even a breaker every now and then. With access to moves like Rock Polish, Meteor Beam, Calm Mind, and even Rapid Spin, I think we are going to have a great roll compression right out of the gate. Our next pick is one that I have had success with in the past. I got my first ever championship with it, actually. And it has been performing quite well for me in the YCL League that is currently happening. That Pokemon is none other than Meowscarada. Meowscarada provides a lot of support with things like Spikes, T-Spikes, and Knockoff. It can also be used as a fast pivot with U-Turn. It's a great Scarfer, actually. And then, of course, it has access to the always creating a Flower Trick. This gives me two relatively big hitters right off the bat, one on the physical side, being the Meowscarada, and one on the special side, being Terrapagos. Because I did not want Terrapagos to be my only form of hazard removal with Rapid Spin, I decided to reach a little early and grab the next guy. Unfortunately, this ends up biting me when it comes to who I wanted to pick up for my fourth pick. That being said, our third pick is probably the third best spinner in the game, behind its past and future Paradox forms, that is. Yep, you guessed it, for our third pick, we decided to grab Donphan. Donphan hits hard offensively, takes physical hits pretty well, and is able to remove hazards with ease. It has some priority with Ice Shard. Grabbing Donphan will make it to where Terrapagos is not forced to be slotted into a hazard removal role, and that is precisely why we decided to grab him this early. Now, you know how I said that grabbing Donphan in round 3 meant that I lost out on what I really wanted for round 4? Well, I really wanted Thundurus Therian form as a Terra Captain, but Pokebaldi decided to pick it up on his wheel pick, so we had to settle for the next best thing. So for round 4, I decided to grab none other than Thundurus Incarnate. This one isn't quite as strong as the Therian form, at least on the special side, but it is faster, and it has access to Prankster Thunderwave, Prankster Taunt, so on and so forth, and it can hit pretty hard on both the physical and the special side. Oh, and did I forget that he is also our first Terra Captain. This is an open Terra Preview League. All that means is that we have to reveal to our opponent what Terra type we are prior to the match starting. They reveal that to us, so we have a little bit more information to go on while we were playing the match. Next up, we decide to grab our second Terra Captain, and admittedly, I probably reached way too early to grab this girl. But you know, you live and you learn, and for our fifth pick, we grabbed none other than Lapras. With the water absorb ability, it makes sets like Terra Ground Dragon Dance quite difficult to deal with. It also has access to the move Freeze Dry, which somehow always looks like a great move, unless you're fighting a Sun team that could really care less about it. After grabbing Lapras, I figured that I really wanted a Steel type. My first choice in Steel types was also taken by Pokebaldi. Shocker, I know. That Pokemon was Tinkaton. So with Tinkaton no longer available, I decided to grab the other Fairy Steel type that was still present. And for our sixth pick, we decided to grab Klefki. I love using Klefki. Much like Thundurus, it gets access to Prankster Thunderwave. It's also a great hazard setter with access to Spikes. It's great at setting screens for other Mons to set it behind. And maybe, just maybe, we will even see a switcheroo every now and then. Heck, I might even try to make a setup and sweep set work at some point during the season. You know, Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Stored Power, Draining Kiss. We'll see what we can get going. Now that I have access to hazards in the forms of Terrapagos, Meowscarada, Donphan, and Klefki, I decided to try and grab another breaker, and something that was a bit hefty on the specially defensive side. To fill this role, I decided to go and grab with my seventh pick, Dragalge. Dragalge is a grounded poison, so it can absorb T-Spikes. It also has the ability to set T-Spikes itself. It has the adaptability, so its poison and dragon stabs are hitting hella hard. It can even slow pivot with U-Turn. I've never had the opportunity to use Dragalge in Draft League before, but its outlook is looking quite promising. Since Meowscarada does not want to be pivoting in on ground spam all the time, and we don't want Thundy to have to be forced into a defensive role, I decided my next pick had to be one that could switch into ground spam, has the ability to heal up, and maybe inflict a burn or two. I was hoping to grab Moltres, but Crep literally snatched it from me the pick before. So with the eighth pick, I decided to pick a tried and true Talonflame. Talonflame is a Pokemon that I've used relatively well in the past. It's got a great speed tier, access to two great abilities in Gale Wings or Flame Body. It can be ran both offensively and defensively. It has access to Defog, just in case I don't want to Rapid Spin every time. And it's truly the definition of Jack of all trades, but Master of none. And you know what? That's okay, because we've used it well in the past. Alright, so we are nearing the end of the draft, and I still have not grabbed my big boss monster. Sorry, I've been playing a lot of Master Duel lately, and that's what's stuck in my head. But no one else can grab another one, so I knew I was safe. So with the 9th pick, I decided I wanted a fighting type. I really wanted to grab Hitmonchan. I was turning in my picks to Dapper that night because I was about to go to sleep for the night, and he informed me that he was grabbing Hitmonchan on his next turn, so I had to do a quick pivot. So with the 9th pick, I decided to pick up Medicham. Now, I have never used Medicham before. I have no idea if it will be good. It has access to the Pure Power ability, which is essentially Huge Power. You know that ability that Azumarill gets. That means it can hit pretty freaking hard. And that's what I need it to do. I need it to break bulky steels for Terrapagos, and to break bulky normals or darks for my final pick. With all of that being said, we enter the final round with 22 points remaining, and we are still lacking a ghost type to round the team out. And based off my description for Medicham, I'm sure you can guess our 10th and final pick. And that is none other than Spectrier. Spectrier is fast, it can hit hard on the specially offensive side, and it can snowball really quickly with Grim Neigh, increasing its special attack after every kill. It can also break as a choice specs user, or even become a utility mon by spreading burns to the physical ops. As I am sure you have noticed, this draft had a lot of snipes for me, and I think I managed to put together a team that is worthy of competing, even if it was not the initial game plan. Well, with that, I hope to see all your comments on this video and in the future battles. My name is Golden Guy, and I'm your coach of the Philadelphia Pincers, and we'll be seeing you. Peace.